On the war-torn space station Vardan 6, everyone feared one name, General Kalara, the most dangerous warrior woman of the Dravari Empire. Rumor said she had ended battles with her bare hands, destroyed armored vehicles with a single strike, and once fought for 5 hours without rest. Humans on the station had one rule: don't go near her. Don't even look at her. But then, she sat down next to a human. A quiet technician named Evan Ward. A man who fixed machines, not fought wars. Everyone froze. Voices went silent. Metal cups stopped in midair. Guards stepped back, confused and afraid. Evan didn't understand what was happening. He was only looking for a place to sit in the crowded cafeteria. He chose a seat. Seconds later, she chose the seat beside him. Her giant spear rested against her leg. Her armor glowed red, like burning metal. Her yellow eyes stared at him with strange interest. No one had ever seen her sit beside anyone, not even her own people. Kalara spoke first. Human, why do you sit alone? Evan swallowed hard. He had no answer. He had no idea why she cared. And everyone around them watched, terrified. Some expected she would break him in half. But she didn't. Instead, she asked, "Do you fear me?" Suspense built up. Evan tried to stay calm. He said quietly, "Should I?" Her lips curved into something between a smile and a threat. "Most do. But you looked at me with no fear." Suddenly alarms blared. A Vanguard-class battlecruiser dropped out of hyperspace, Dravari enemies. Explosion tremors shook the station. People panicked. Emergency lights flashed. The room vibrated. Kalara stood up. Her armor activated. Her spear extended. But she didn't run toward the battle. She grabbed Evan's arm. "Stay behind me. You're coming." Evan tried to protest, but she pulled him with surprising gentleness, like she cared whether he got hurt. This shocked the crowd even more. The unexpected mission Kalara brought him to a restricted hangar where small fighters waited. She told him, "Human, your skills are needed. A power conduit is failing. If it breaks, the station will explode." He didn't know how she knew that, but she was right. He checked the systems. They were seconds from overload. But as he worked, Kalara stood guard, protecting him from attackers. Dravari assassins entered the hangar. They attacked with plasma blades. Kalara fought like a storm. Her movements were fast, sharp, impossible to follow. But Evan noticed something strange. She was injured, badly. Burn marks across her armor. Small wounds leaking glowing blood. She still stood like nothing happened. Evan fixed the conduit, saving the station from exploding. But Kalara collapsed to one knee. For the first time, the warrior woman looked weak. "Evan, do not fear me now." He didn't. He helped her up, supported her weight, carried her to a med bay despite everyone staring. This shocked the entire station. Even more shocking, Kalara didn't push him away. She allowed it, and before she lost consciousness, she whispered, "Human, stay. I chose you." Welcome to my channel Starlight Sci-Fi Stories. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. The space station Vardan 6 was loud, crowded, and always full of fear. Every hallway carried rumors, and every cafeteria table held whispers that humans didn't want to speak too loudly. But one rumor was louder than all others. The Dravari Empire had sent their strongest warrior to observe the humans. Her name was General Kalara. Some said she once destroyed a tank with her fist. Others said she took down 20 soldiers alone in one battle. Some even believed she didn't feel pain. No one wanted to be near her. No one wanted to look at her. And everyone said the same thing: don't go near her. Ever. But Evan Ward, a human technician who fixed broken machines, wasn't thinking about warriors or empires that day. He was only thinking about rest. He had worked a 14-hour shift repairing power lines in Section 9, and his back hurt, his eyes burned, and all he wanted was a seat to eat. The cafeteria was full. Every table, every bench, every corner. Workers shouted orders, machines hummed, trays clattered. Evan sighed and kept walking, trying to find somewhere to sit. He finally saw a chair. A single empty chair at the far end of the room. He stepped toward it, and the room became quiet. Too quiet. Evan paused. He felt dozens of eyes staring at him. The humans at nearby tables whispered in panic. Is he crazy? Someone stop him. He doesn't know whose seat that is. But Evan didn't understand. He only saw a chair. He sat down. There was 1 second of silence. Then heavy footsteps echoed behind him. Slow, strong, too controlled to be human. The ground seemed to vibrate a little with each step. Evan turned his head, and the cafeteria froze. General Kalara stood there, towering, armored, and terrifying. Her armor glowed a faint red, like heated metal. Her long spear was slung across her back, humming with energy. Her skin was a deep silver gray, and her eyes glowed bright gold, sharp and unblinking. She stared at the empty space beside Evan. Then she stared at him. And to everyone's horror, she walked toward him. People whispered, "He's dead, oh no, somebody help him," but no one moved. No one wanted to get in her way. Kalara reached the table, and still, Evan sat frozen, not sure if he should run or faint. Then, the impossible happened. Kalara sat down, right beside him. The metal bench creaked under her weight and strength. Her spear clattered softly against the table. She didn't look at anyone else. Only at him. The entire cafeteria held its breath. Finally, she spoke, her voice deep, calm, strangely smooth. "Human, why do you sit alone?" Evan blinked. Of all the things she could have said, that was not what he expected. It was the only empty seat," he replied, trying to sound braver than he felt. She tilted her head a little, studying him like a puzzle. "You chose this seat, even when your kind fears me." Evan felt his heartbeat jump. He didn't want to tell the truth, that he hadn't realized this was her seat. He had no idea. He tried to breathe normally. "Should I fear you?" he asked, though his voice shook. Her lips curved in something that might have been a smile or a warning. Most do. The air around them grew heavy. Even from a distance, he could feel the heat of her armor and the weight of her presence. She was calm, but her power felt like a storm held tight in chains. Evan tried again. "I don't want trouble." Kalara leaned a little closer, gold eyes locked on him. "Then why did you not run from me?" Evan swallowed hard. "Because, I didn't think you were going to hurt me." She went silent, completely silent. The cafeteria felt like it would explode from tension. Then, boom, the room shook violently. Lights flickered, plates crashed, people screamed, red alarms flashed across the ceiling. "Enemy vessel detected," said the robotic voice over the speakers. "Hostile forces approaching Varden 6. Kalara rose instantly. Her spear extended with a sharp metallic sound. But instead of running toward the fight, she grabbed Evan's arm. Not hard, not violent, but firm. "Human, with me." Evan stared at her in confusion. "What? Why me? I'm just a technician." Kalara didn't answer. She simply pulled him with her, moving fast through the panicking crowd. People stepped aside, terrified to be in her path, but watching Evan like he was insane for being near her. The station shook again. Dust fell from the ceiling. The alarms grew louder. Kalara dragged Evan into a private elevator and slammed her palm on the control. The door shut and the elevator flew downward at high speed. Evan tried to steady himself. "Where are we going?" She stared forward. "The lower engineering deck." "Why? I'm not a soldier." She turned her head just slightly. "Exactly. You are not a soldier. You are something more useful." He didn't understand, but when the elevator doors opened, he understood immediately. They stood in a massive hangar, filled with fighters, drones, and mechanical systems. But lights flickered dangerously. Sparks rained from a power junction on the wall. A thick cable had snapped. Ped and electricity shot across the room in wild bolts. A large digital warning blinked. "Critical failure. Power conduit damaged, station core overload in 4 minutes." Evan's eyes widened. "If that conduit breaks, the whole station could explode," Kalara finished. Her voice was steady, but her stance was ready for battle. "You know how to fix it," she said. "How did you know I was here?" he whispered. Her expression softened slightly. "I watched you earlier." Before he could question that, the doors at the far end burst open. Dravari separatist soldiers rushed in, enemies of Kalara's empire. They wielded plasma blades and rifles. Kalara pushed Evan behind a stack of metal crates. "Fix the conduit," she ordered. "I will handle them." Before he could argue, she leapt forward. What happened next didn't look real. Kalara moved like lightning, her spear spinning, slicing, striking. Every blow was clean and exact. Sparks flashed as plasma blades collided with her armor. She fought 3, then 5, then 8 enemies at once. But Evan noticed something. Her movements slowed slightly. Her breathing deepened. The glowing cracks on her armor weren't normal. She was already injured, badly. Evan ran to the power conduit panel. He pried it open, sparks blasting his face. The station trembled again. From behind him, he heard screams, metal hitting the ground, and the roar of Kalara's voice. He worked fast, cutting wires, sealing leaks, replacing cables. He had done this job 100 times, but never with a battlefield behind him. The timer showed 1 minute 12 seconds. He shouted, "Almost done." Kaylara didn't respond. She was still fighting, but slower, weaker. Evan sealed the final connection and slammed the emergency switch. The conduit hummed into stable power. The red warning turned green. He saved the station. He turned, just in time to see Kaylara collapse to one knee, breathing hard, blood glowing from a wound on her shoulder. Evan ran to her. She looked up at him, exhausted. "Human, do not fear me now." He shook his head. "I'm not afraid." She almost smiled, but then her legs gave out. Evan caught her before she fell, supporting her weight. She was heavy, but he held her as best he could. Dravari assassins were dead around them. The hangar silent again. Evan helped her toward the medical bay, ignoring the shocked faces of soldiers and engineers staring at them. A human doctor stepped forward. "We can treat her," he whispered, "but she is dangerous. You should not stay near her." Evan tried to step back, but Kaylara's hand, weak but steady, closed around his wrist. Her eyes opened just a little. "Stay, human?" He froze. Before losing consciousness again, she whispered, "I chose you." The medical staff looked terrified. Evan had no idea what that meant. But he stayed. He didn't leave her side. And the entire station knew it. The final moment of part 1. Kaylara's eyes opened slightly, glowing in the dark room. Her hand tightened around his wrist. "Do not leave me, human." Kaylara woke to the soft beeping of medical machines and the faint smell of antiseptic. Her vision was blurry at first, but the shapes around her slowly came into focus, white walls, glowing screens, and a small lamp humming in the corner. And beside her bed, Evan. He sat in a plastic chair, slumped forward, asleep. His head was resting on his arms. He looked exhausted, but peaceful. Kaylara stared at him for a long, silent moment. No human had ever stayed beside her before. No one had even dared. Yet this one did. Her fingers twitched weakly. The movement made Evan wake up. He looked around, confused for a second, until he met her glowing golden eyes. "You're awake," he whispered. Kaylara tried to sit up, but pain surged through her body. Evan quickly placed a hand on her shoulder. "Easy. You're badly hurt." She studied him carefully. "You stayed." Evan nodded. "You asked me to." Her eyes softened, but only for a heartbeat. She looked toward the doorway where 2 human guards stood, watching her carefully. Their hands rested on their weapons. She noticed the fear in their eyes. So she looked back at Evan. "You should not be here. Your people fear me." "I know," Evan said quietly. "But I don't." Her eyes narrowed slightly, studying him again. Humans fascinated her, but this one was something different. Something rare. "Why?" she asked. "Why do you not fear me?" Evan paused. He didn't have a clever reason. He didn't have a brave reason. He simply said, "Because I saw you protect people." She blinked. A strange warmth moved in her chest. Evan continued, voice calm and honest. "You could have let me die. You could have ignored everyone in the station. But you didn't. You fought to protect us. You fought to protect me." Kaylara looked away, troubled. "I am a warrior of Dravari," she said. "It is my purpose." "No," Evan said softly. "Purpose is not the same as choice. You chose to fight for us, even though we are not your people." Her golden eyes returned to him, brighter now. Before she could speak, the door opened sharply. Commander Rourke entered the room, tall, cold, and grim. He looked at Kaylara with clear distrust. "We need to talk," he said. Kaylara's expression hardened. "I do not answer to humans." "You're on a human station," Rourke replied. "And your presence has put us at risk." Evan stepped forward. "Commander, we can't blame her. She saved." Rourke cut him off. "We don't know why she saved you. For all we know, it's part of some Dravari plan." Kaylara's fingers curled, but she stayed silent. Rourke continued, voice sharp. "The Dravari Empire is demanding we hand her over. The Separatists are threatening attacks if we don't. And our station was just invaded because she was here." Evan felt anger rise inside him. She was attacked because the Separatists want her dead. She didn't bring danger here, they followed her. Rourke ignored him. "As station commander, I must decide what's safest for everyone. Kaylara will remain under guard. And Evan," he looked at him with a warning stare. "You will not stay near her." "That's an order." Evan opened his mouth to protest, but Kaylara spoke first. Her voice was calm, but carried the weight of a storm. "No." The room went silent. Rourke turned sharply. "What did you say?" Kaylara sat up straighter despite the pain. This human stays. I chose him. Rourke's eyes widened. You chose him? For what? Evan blinked in confusion too. Yeah, he said. What does that mean? Kaylara hesitated. Her people did not share their cultural secrets easily. But she looked at Evan, then said, among the Dravari, a warrior may choose someone whose spirit they respect. Someone with courage. Someone worth protecting. Evan's face warmed. He felt embarrassed and shocked at the same time. Rourke's eyes narrowed. So he's your, what? Your pet? Your servant? Kaylara's voice dropped, dangerous and sharp. No, he is the one I trust. The temperature in the room felt like it dropped. Rourke stared at Evan, then at Kaylara. Well, that doesn't matter. He follows human orders, and I'm ordering him to leave. Kaylara tensed. Her armor plates clicked, preparing to defend. Rourke instantly reached for his gun. Stand down, Evan shouted, stepping between them. Stop, no one needs to fight. For a moment, the standoff felt ready to explode. Then the station lights flickered. A deep alarm echoed through the hallway. Warning. Unauthorized breach in docking sector C. Rourke swore under his breath. Not again. Kaylara forced herself off the bed, breathing painfully, but standing firm. They are here for me, she said. The separatists will not stop. Evan grabbed her arm. You can't fight like this, you're still hurt. Kaylara looked down at him. You are afraid for me. Evan nodded. She touched his forehead gently with 2 fingers, a Dravari gesture of respect. I will not fall while you watch. But Evan stood in front of her. No, this time I'm going with you. Rourke stared in disbelief. You'll get yourself killed. Evan shook his head. I'm a technician. I know the back tunnels better than anyone. I can help her escape. Kaylara's eyes glowed brighter. You wish to fight beside me? I wish to keep you alive, Evan said. Kaylara's breath caught for a moment. A strange, new feeling stirred inside her. Then she nodded once. Very well. The 3 of them moved through the medical bay doors, but an explosion threw them back. Smoke filled the hallway. Separatist soldiers marched through the breach, weapons raised. Kaylara grabbed Evan and pulled him behind cover. Rourke fired his weapon, hitting 2 of the attackers before diving behind a fallen door panel. Kaylara whispered sharply, the maintenance tunnels, where? Evan pointed to a sealed hatch on the left. Through there, but it needs an access code. She lifted her spear. No, it needs force. With one powerful strike, she cracked open the hatch. They slipped inside just as plasma shots burned the walls behind them. The tunnels were dark and narrow. Pipes hissed above their heads. Evan guided them through the maze. He whispered, if we reach the lower docks, we can steal a small shuttle. Kaylara shook her head. They will expect that. Then what do we do? She placed her hand over his. We survive. They moved deeper, but suddenly, the tunnel trembled. A huge shadow blocked their path. A Dravari separatist champion, twice Kaylara's size, armored in black metal, stepped out. His voice echoed like thunder. General Kaylara, traitor. Today you die. Kaylara pushed Evan behind her. Stay back. This one is mine. The giant charged. The battle shook the tunnel. Sparks flew as metal slammed against metal. Kaylara's spear clashed against the enemy's heavy blade. She fought with fury, but her injuries slowed her. The champion swung, sending Kaylara crashing into a wall. Kaylara, Evan shouted. She stumbled, panting. The champion raised his blade to finish her. Evan looked around desperately, and spotted a control panel. He sprinted toward it, ignoring Kaylara's yell. Evan, stay back. He slammed his hand on the gravity control switch. The tunnel shifted. Gravity twisted sideways. Everyone fell. The champion crashed into the opposite wall, stunned. Kaylara used that 1 second of weakness. She leapt forward and drove her spear through the enemy's armor. The giant fell, collapsing with a metallic thud. Silence filled the tunnel. Kaylara turned to Evan. Her eyes burned with a fierce, glowing pride. You saved me, she whispered. Again. He smiled weakly. We're even now. She stepped closer. No, I still owe you more. Before he could answer, Rourke's voice shouted from a distance. Evan, Kaylara, over here. Human soldiers blocked the remaining separatists, giving them a path to safety. Evan helped Kaylara walk to the exit, her body leaning on his. She didn't push him away. She didn't pretend to be strong. She trusted him. Back in the command center, Rourke stood at a large table cover. In screens. He looked at Kaylara, then at Evan. I can't believe this, Rourke said. You two actually survived. Kaylara straightened, ignoring the pain. I request asylum on this station. Rourke stared at her like she'd spoken an alien language. You? The Empire's most feared warrior? Kalara nodded. I will fight for humans. Not against them. Evan stepped beside her. She protected us. We should protect her. Rourke sighed deeply, rubbing his forehead. Fine, he said at last. But she stays under watch. And if anything goes wrong, Evan cut in. I'll take responsibility. Kalara turned toward him. Her eyes glowed softly. You would stand for me? Evan nodded. I already did. Kalara lowered her head slightly, an ancient Dravari gesture of deep honor. Then from this day, she said quietly, I stand with you, Evan Ward. Warrior to human, life to life. He smiled. Then let's face whatever comes next together. And as they walked out of the command room side by side, the station watched in shock, disbelief, and awe. The human who wasn't supposed to go near her was now the only one she trusted.